from Sweet Recording in beautiful Mount Laurel, New Jersey. I'm here with my producer, Joe Gangemi. How you doing, Joe?
Coop, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I got to tell you, there's a new website you got to check out, people. It's called Coop's Comedy Corner. That's COOPS Comedy Corner. And it's all things merch for all my shows. Jimmy Corhan set it up for me. So you can get the Coop Tank merch. You can get Cooper Talk merch. You can get Coop's Comedy merch. We're talking T-shirts for men, women, and kids. Dogs. We have dog, Joe. We have dog shirts and dog sweaters.
Wow.
You can get hoodies. You can get mugs and all that good stuff. So check it out at Coop's Comedy Corner. And on July 2nd, Wednesday, July 2nd, will be the next Cocktails with Cooper down there at Split Bar and Grill in Laurel Lanes in Maple Shade, New Jersey. And one of my sponsors is Joe for Contap. Joe Gangemi and Matt Passy are going to be promoting their new product, Contap. So Joe, tell us a little about Contap.
Yeah, thanks so much, Coop. So Contap is the easiest way to network and to share whatever it is that matters most to you in that moment, whether it's your contact information, your website, your social media, your podcast, whatever it may be. Contap is a series of NFC devices, which is the smartphone tap technology. And it's so much more than a digital business card. In fact, we're kind of distancing ourselves from that verbiage because we have so many ideas in mind for so many ways that we can help with so many use cases when it comes to so many industries. I'd love to tell you more, but I don't want to take up the entirety of the Coop Tank Live. But there's a lot of exciting features, and we're working on our latest software iteration. Should be available in a couple weeks. So that's a little bit about Contap. Thank you, Coop.
Yeah, and just real quick, tell us a little about Sweet Recording, because I'm here right now, so you might as well tell us a little about Sweet Recording.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. So Sweet Recording is the premier content podcast studio in South Jersey. We can help you with everything as it pertains to, creating content for your brand, your business, your organization, or just for your personal brand as well. So we make it super easy to start something like a podcast, a YouTube channel, or create social media content. We do video, we do audio, and as you can see, we do live streaming as well and everything in between. So learn more at sweetrecording.com, SUITE recording.com, or connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to chat and, learn more about you as well.
All right. Well, I want to give a quick shout out to my wife who got me this shirt. It says "Dive into Reading." It's from Jaggard Elementary School there in Marlton, where she's a para aide, and it was extra. So I said, "Hey, if it's free, it's for me." And I got the shirt, so I can't complain. And it's got a little shark. A kid drew this. It's very cool. Anyway, we have a great show. This show's been going on in this format for 2 years, and now I'm starting to bring back people who've been on before. I'm going to mix in new guests, but today is all people that have been on before, and I haven't talked to them. I might seen them, but I haven't talked to them about their careers for a while. And my first guest from EAG Advertising is Mitch Klein. How you doing, Mitch?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. And hi, Mid and Ashley.
All right. And then she's a legend. Everyone knows her from Ashley Assists. It's Ashley Owens. How you doing, Ashley?
Hi, Coop. So good to be back, buddy. Thanks for having me.
And finally, the man from SpeedPro South Jersey, my man, Emidio Mariani. What's up, Mid?
Good. I'm doing good, Coop. How are you?
I'm doing great, and great to have you all here. So, Mitch, tell us, and this is a new position for you. Tell us a little about EAG Advertising and what you do.
All right. Well, thank you. I've been at this for quite a long time, but always on a sales side. So now at EAG. Full service ad agency. Essentially, we work as a non-salaried marketing manager for our clients and assist them with their business growth by utilizing the best marketing and advertising tactics. So it's not just about selling one thing, but across everything from linear, digital, social media management, website management. But essentially, we want to help those SMBs, those small, medium-sized businesses, grow, whether it's through just branding, if they have a call to action. So it's full service, very transparent. And I just love working on this, especially in the local marketplace.
All right. And Ashley, tell us a little about Ashley Assists.
Well, lots of things have changed, Coop, since we hung out. So Ashley says I specialize in networking. My title is Networking Concierge, trademarked that whole bit, and I got hired by an organization that now has, after very quickly, has made me president of their national attorney conference. So last year we put on something called PIMCon, the Personal Injury Mastermind Conference. So I took everything I knew about networking, systems and processes and everything. And we had Michael Phelps as our keynote last year. We had Nikki Glazer as our keynote. And Nikki Glazer's coming today. Michael Phelps was last year. David Spade was last year. So you're definitely working with these amazing personal injury attorneys and really putting on a party for them. So that's what I'm doing now. I still teach at Temple University, personal branding. I still coach individuals on how to network at conferences. I just now have a full-time headache.
All right. Well, that's good. That's good. Now, man, David Spade and Glazer are so damn funny. So they're just amazing, both amazing stand-ups. Mid, you're newer at your new position. So tell us a little about SpeedPro South Jersey.
Hey, at SpeedPro, we handle everything in graphics and signage and marketing, everything from a small print job to the largest of signs, and everything in between.
All right. So I usually ask people the path to get there. And I will do that. No, Ashley, just tell us a quick way you got to go to the new place where you, because I know you're from Ashley. I met you at an event ages ago. But tell us how you ended up, because you moved, you left Philly, you went to Texas, you have a full-time job now. You're all grown up, actually.
Everyone is so mad. You're all so mad I left Philly. Listen, I love it so much, but I travel so much now. And honestly, Texas has better property tax. So I'm out there trying to keep all my money instead of trying to, Philadelphia taking it. But so my very first client ever recommended me to Chris Dreyer of Rankings.io. And Rankings.io does SEO for personal injury attorneys. He was not able to attend conferences to represent that company, Rankings.io. So they sent me out to about 3 or 4 events. And then he's like, well, what if you did 5? What if you did 10? What if you came on full time? So after 4 months, they brought me on full time to do what I do specifically for them. And what I do is I attend events on behalf of my clients, make sure they get what they need, and then also make sure that they get the right kind of business development on site. And I train teams on sales at conferences to utilize their EQ for networking activities. So he brought me on, worked out full time. And then the next year he goes, okay, I want you to continue to go to conferences and plan our very first conference ever. And so we had it at the 5-star hotel called the Phoenician in Scottsdale. We're doing it again this year, but it went from somebody used my name in a mastermind and introduced me to Chris, and Chris changed my life over the course of 2.5, 3 years. And now I'm president of PimCon and the director of events at Rankings.io. I'm tired, Coop. Tired.
Okay, I'm tired. I'm tired of waking up in the morning. Mid, your path to SpeedPro. Because I know you've been in biz sales all your life, but you were a business owner. But what was your path to SpeedPro?
So, I've been, like you said, sales almost all my life, and business development, and really just through networking. A mutual friend, Meg Varel, if I give her a shout out, she connected me with Keith Keller, the owner of SpeedPro, because they're doing a lot of good things there. They really wanted to get their message out more, and he added me to the team, and it's been great so far.
All right. How about you, Mitch? What's your path?
Path is, I think, a lot of people nowadays, whether it was COVID or the economy, had to pivot once, twice, 3 times. So I pivoted. Worked for a major TV company, left them in August 19, got into the streaming TV space, and then found myself pivoting again. And then fortunately, I had a great partner with GCV Productions. They said, hey, Mitch, I know someone you got to speak to, a guy named George Ennis. They said to George Ennis, I know a guy you have to speak to named Mitch Klein. We connected. We had a couple conversations. George brought me on, and now I'm part of EAG, and we're going to be growing left and right. We went from 1 to 2 down to 4 people, plus we have dozens of partners we rely on. Once again, having fun, but it's sort of the way life took me, and I just met the right people. Networking certainly helps. And that's where I am today.
All right. You're all, well, Ashley, you're newer into this position. I mean, it's new to you somewhat, traveling. I mean, you're always Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
So you're all newer in your positions. Okay. Sure. And we run into people who've been working for their job for 20 years and they still say they love their job. And usually they're full of shit. I mean, to be honest, it's like after 20 years, just get a little stagnant. Maybe that's just me. Yeah. But Mid, what is it that you love about your job? I mean, there's got to be something that you go to work and you just love it, because if not, you might as well be like digging ditches.
Right. Well, yeah. So what I love most about the job is I'm working with incredible people that are extremely honest, extremely hardworking. So that gives you a lot of satisfaction. It makes you able to follow through on your promises to your clients. So that's the first thing I look for. But that's working with the people we work with every day. The challenge of sales, I always like that, being a competitive, athletic minded person, and then having the team that you're working with is what what makes it all worthwhile. So.
Okay. How about you, Mitch? What do you love about this new position?
I love to agree with Mid. You know, when I worked on the corporate side, you had to deal with clients and coworkers you might not necessarily like, especially on the client side. So now I choose to work with clients I want to work with, but the culture in a company is what, like, you die and go to heaven, and you get to work with good people that care about you, your families. But beyond that, we also care about our clients, and that from the CEO down is sort of what we're bred on. So I love working with good people, good clients, and a good culture.
How about you, Ashley? What do you love about what you do?
So I've had many jobs after I graduated college, and I never got fired. It's mergers, acquisitions, budget cuts. I'm 37 now, so I really try to teach my students. I'm a professor at Temple, to really kind of make sure they know what their value is, because I didn't have an employer see it for a very long time. What I love about my job is that I have the autonomy to to do what I do best, which is drive through every project in a way that is on time, on budget, with a standard. And what I love about my job is being able to have that autonomy to make those decisions and to be in a position where I'm the one that's making the decisions. So oftentimes in positions, you don't really get that kind of, I'm not going to say power, but you really don't get that kind of leadership. And I didn't get questioned on the decisions that I've made. They just gave me the tools to support and to say, we know what you do. You're an expert, go and do you. So at Rankings, they only hire experts in the one thing, in the one activity that they're going to be helping their clients with. So you don't have a ton of different people doing 17 different things, and where it all gets frustrating and the culture's, crap, because no one is able to do their job because they're so overwhelmed or burnt out. So what I love about my job is I can literally do what comes as easy to me as breathing, and then dig into more important things like human behavior and EQ, and really try to make what I do and the event as robust as possible, because I now have the freedom and the autonomy to do it.
I would love to ask that question once. Joe, I'd love to ask that question. Someone says, I hate my job. Fuck it. I'm out of here. And just walk off the camera. That would make me done. That would make my day. Like, my whole weekend would be set if that ever happened. So, Joe, if that ever happens, we got to make a short clip of that and just keep playing the shit out of it. So,
all right, Coop, you got it. I'll be listening.
I'm waiting. Okay. So, we've all gone through a lot in the last few years, professionally, personally. So, we'll start with you, Ashley.
Sure.
In the last year, what is something that you're very proud of, personal and professional? What is something that makes you proud to look back and go, man, this makes me so proud?
So PimCon #1, which was last year, our first one, was the most, it was the biggest, most important project of my career. And we did it. And my name was on it. I had all of the tools that I needed to be able to turn this into something incredible. But without the two other people that helped me run it, you've got Dylan Schinholzer of FOH Productions, you've got Randy Cook from Rankings, and then obviously Chris Dreyer, who helped with the whole thing. But that was the biggest project, and I worked myself to the core to make sure it was up to standard with a project that I've never done before. But I had all the tools to do it. So that was the help. But I gained a lot of weight last year. I gained a lot of bad habits because I was trying to fulfill a very, very big project that I wasn't prepared for yet at the time, but ended up working out. So personally this year, I have a trainer. Her name is Veronica. And Veronica makes me cry on Mondays and Wednesdays. And I've lost about 35 pounds, a couple inches, about 4 inches on every part of my body, which is great. But I also feel good, and I can maintain and sustain the traveling, the work, the conferences I go to attend on behalf of Rankings. And so I'm able to do that. So right now, as you can see, I'm in a hotel room and I need to be able to eat right. And so it's changing that mindset to make sure I can mentally and physically stand all of the things that are asked of me throughout the year.
That's awesome. And eating in a hotel room is very hard to eat right when you're on the road. I know from when I did comedy, it was like, it's so hard. Like, and back then, like, people weren't bringing stuff. Like, hey, now you can find like all this healthy stuff, so you can just bring a salad. But back then, you pulled out a salad. What the hell are you doing? So
yeah, I'm chewing air half the time, and I'm still getting 5 pounds from the cortisol from traveling.
There you go. Mid, what's something professional and personal you're very proud of in the last year?
Yeah, so actually, I've lost a few inches too, but in height, I've gained it with, lost it in height. So I'm becoming like instead of portrait, landscape. But anyway, I'll leave the jokes to you, Steve. So a couple of things personally. This is going to sound kind of crazy, but in the Gloucester County Chamber of Commerce. I've been the reigning pie eating contest for the last 5 years. So that I had to, even though I'm not really proud, I'm not proud of that, but I had to bring it up.
You got to lead with that, Emidio.
I know, dude. That's the best. When I see pictures of that, I go, Mid cannot be beat. I mean, I see Alex Tullio with crap all over his face. I'm like, you can't beat Mid. I mean, I'm going to go to DraftKings on the next one, and I'm going to bet against you, and you can throw it, and we'll make a lot of money.
Yeah. Hey, I'm in on that. So no, but and again, it's something that's like a bittersweet. I'm not really proud of that, but it is something that, you know, I'm not going to let someone just take it from me either. So anyway, so that another personal thing with kids, it's nice as they get older and you have more conversations with them, and they do the things you say, and they model you in the right ways, not in the wrong ways. That gives you some satisfaction as they get older, seeing some of those things. And then on a professional level, because I did switch industries like you guys, it's nice when you know that those relationships that you have built, even if people you didn't do business with in your old life, now you're doing business with them because you have a different, you know, something different to offer them, and seeing them come out of the woodwork is satisfying, that it wasn't all for naught. So, so that's it.
How about you, Mitch?
Well, personally, I always look at my wife and kids. I'm always proud of what they do in life. Both my kids are out in LA, living their best lives. So that's always satisfying. Also on a personal level, you know, Steve, I'm a craft beer guy. So Short Man Loves Beer is my Instagram account. And I've got about 2,300 followers from all over the world. So I find that very exciting. Business-wise, joining EAG and bringing on accounts at a nice clip, I'd say, at the beginning, gave my CEO the opportunity to say, we've got something good here, and now let's figure out how to grow it. So professionally, just being with EAG, George, Chris, Stephanie, and then all of our partners has given me a lot of satisfaction. And I look forward to being down the road 5, 10, 20 years from now saying I was part of something at the beginning and look what we've done now. So very exciting.
20 years down the road, I just hope I'm still alive. That's what I always say. I'm like, that's like if I can get the long-term plan, that'll be good.
The beer drinking helps, Steve.
Yeah, I know. I've been good. I've been drinking lately. I miss it. I'm going to start again, but I have to go to the doctor. Mitch knows. He works one day a week at Canals, and they were having these all these great craft beers. They all put in these bags, and they sell them for $6 for a 6-pack. And every day I was in there buying one and just filling my beer fridge. My wife said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Don't worry, I'll drink it. But I'm getting like an $8 beer for $1." So it was really good. And you guys need to do that again, else I'm not coming back. Anyway. I've known all of you for a while, and I've met you in all different ways, and you all have very dynamic personalities, and that's why you're on the show. I wouldn't have someone who's boring or someone who doesn't have a personality on the show because it doesn't lead to good viewing or radio. Mid, tell me something about your personality that you think is a strong point. What is a strong point of your personality?
It's a tough one, but I mean, it could be a blessing and a curse. That I'd say the tenacity, not just going after things and not wanting to give up. Sometimes it could drive you crazy, and there is a time when maybe you need to say, all right, this is the wrong path. But the persistence and the tenacity, but in the right way, say in sales, that's not annoying or badgering. It's just looking at the very long haul and keeping those relationships which kind of lends itself to what I was saying earlier, as far as now I still have those relationships with people. So the persistence and tenacity, I guess. Okay.
How about you, Mitch?
I like to bring comedy, levity to all the conversations I have. Ideas that when I'm especially involved in business, I want the person I'm working with or the people I'm working with to kind of relax and feel a little bit at ease. And I do that through humor. You break down some of those nerves, those barriers that, these kind of relationships with humor, and suddenly you can develop a very nice, enjoyable relationship. So to me, humor, being authentic, transparent, and just kind of being myself.
Okay. How about you, Ash?
I have way more standards now, so that just makes me meaner, which I kind of like. So it's way more direct, and I get things done faster, and I don't have to, emotionally regulate anybody else. It's great. No, I learned, I took a course in neurolinguistic programming, and was able to kind of figure out the certain things that I was really good at and how to hone in more on how do I communicate with somebody new who I can communicate the way that they understand. So the best part, my personality is I'm really naturally curious, and I really love human behavior, and really try to hone in on my skill sets to amplify it so I can do better networking. I can communicate somebody with a more intentional reach rather than just kind of pass them around. But yeah, my standards have definitely grown because I'm a human lie detector now.
That's good. That's good. Now I want to stay with Mid because you just brought something up, and I want to ask you all your input on what I think, because someone's doing this to me right now. What do you consider, Mid, badgering? When you say you don't want to badger someone, because sometimes people, I understand following up, but sometimes people follow up way too much. Like, it's funny, or they just I get some guy who sits there and sends an old email I have saying, "Hey, I'm with the Medford Life magazine. Are you interested?" And I can't unsubscribe because he doesn't have the button, so I'm stuck getting these emails. But I consider a little badgering. What do you? Because you're all in sales or an aspect of that, or working with people. What do you consider badgering, Mid?
So what I would consider it is if it's obvious I'm reaching out or anybody's reaching out with only me in mind and what's good for me. So it has really nothing to do with frequency. I would say it has everything to do with what your intent. If you're really trying to add value or help someone, then it's not badgering. But people could smell it a mile away if it's really it's the end of the month and I got to get a deal or I got to close a deal or whatever. That's it becomes obvious, where it's a little bit different if you're just, let's just say it's someone you want to stay in touch with and you're reaching out to them genuinely, keeping in touch. You know what they like, so you might drop them a note or a call about something that interests them instead of, like the old sales guy says, "I'm calling just to check in on my money on you," something like that. That's what you don't want to do. So anything that's not genuine, where you're reaching out to them with something valuable to them, is badgering, in my opinion.
How about you, Mitch? What do you think badgering is?
Not being a used car salesman. No offense to those hardworking people, but I've always looked at sales kind of that way. There's always a fine line between persistence and annoyance, badgering and connecting at the right intervals. And when I write an email or connect with someone, I try to, like Mid says, bring them a little value. Have you heard that streaming TV is now greater share of viewing than broadcast and cable combined? That kind of hook, to me, is not badgering, but it's delivering a message and something that could ultimately help that person. But to me, always balancing that fine line, that's always the struggle.
Okay. How about you, Ashley? What do you think badgering is?
Badgering is getting into my inbox and we've never met or conversed in any way, shape, or form, and you're telling me that you have value. Badgering to me is someone who reaches out very cold and they continue to follow up with no answer, with no actual value on what they're talking about. If you understand people, you understand business. So who runs businesses? People. So if you understand people, you understand business. So if you understand that maybe I'm hiring somebody, or you're saying that, hey, PimCon looks great. We noticed from the last year's recap video, there was an X, Y, and Z. Did you know that in this location, we have X, Y, and Z? Could be interesting to have it at your next event. If they take something specific and they use it to utilize and fix a potential problem that may happen, then I'm very much excited about the next step. Otherwise, it's like having somebody come up to you at a bar and they're like, "You're very beautiful." I am. I know. I put money into this. This is a process. It's like, I'm aware, but how are you going to make my life better? And so I do it with sales. If you're coming at me very aggressively or just saying, "I have all this value," that's great. Do you have a nice personality? Are you kind? How are you going to treat people? I need to know the person before I know the business.
Okay.
Ashley, you lost us with that reference because no one comes up to us in a bar.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh, they do me all the time. They go, "God, look at you." I go, "Yeah." They go, "Are you Uncle Junior from The Sopranos?" They go, "No, but I guess sign an autograph anyway."
What a privilege, guys. Must be nice living out there without being bothered.
We're going to keep on this subject of badgering because this is something that's been happening to me, because we network a lot and we give our card out. Now, I remember when you were back east, you had a great newsletter. Yeah. You had a great newsletter.
I'm bringing it back, Coop. I'm so glad you said that. I'm bringing it back.
But you always had all the networking events listed. You do all that stuff, and it was good. But I was on your mailing list. I talked to you, and I gave you my name. Now I want to know all of them. We're gonna stay with you, Ashley.
Sure.
I have a big problem because we go to networking events and we're always giving cards out. Well, all of a sudden, I'm on people's email list, their blog list, there's newsletters list. I never signed up for this. I never signed up for 18 fucking traveling websites, okay? My wife books all our travel. What is your thought about people who just automatically put you on your list? Because I don't want to unsubscribe because I know, like with something monkey or whatever, survey monkey or whatever it's called, that hurts their rating if people unsubscribe. But I personally, it irritates me when I don't know someone. Like, as I said, I loved your newsletter. And I signed up for you, and it was a great, because I had insight. But you didn't just sit there one day, hey, Coop, I didn't just find it in my mailbox. And I knew you too. Also from people you give their card, you don't know this people, and you're thinking, what is your thought? Because someone who's been involved with the newsletter, and you had a very big network with your newsletter. What is your thought when all of a sudden you meet someone at an event, and like the next day you're like, hey, here's my daily newsletter?
I've got too much going on to be bothered by an email I can unsubscribe with.
Okay. I just think it's an infringement on me. I think
it is. And I think there's a level of respect that comes into it, that if somebody does opt in, there's definitely that level. But us speaking right now and talking to our phones and doing whatever we got to do, all of our data is captured everywhere in every form. So at the end of the day, if I am not a fan of it, then I will unsubscribe. If I am a fan of it and and it provides me value, then I'll keep it there. But I personally, this is more of a mindset thing. I cannot get upset over something I can't control. And the only things that I can control, I can change the way that I feel about it. So I'm in control of my own feelings. Yeah. Is it annoying? Absolutely. Unsubscribe. Cool. No problem.
See, I'm a get off your lawn guy. So I'm getting that age. So it irritates me.
That's okay. Listen, I had a whole digital, I had a couple episodes where I literally just talked about what bothers me, right? It's very Italian. What bothers me? And that cracked me up because it was a way for me to literally just tell people what bothered me, and we can all relate. So 100% can I relate to that. I think that if you're going to be putting out an email, or if you're going to be putting out some kind of newsletter, like, put humor in it, very much like Mitch said, and put something that people can take away and use it as a reference. So it's not like, hey, this is what's going on in my life. It's like, hey, I'm going to use this because this is the reference that I have to pull it up again. So what you're doing is you're causing somebody to take an action inside of the thing that you're putting out to then, to keep, front of mind. But yeah, I'll bring that back, Coop. I'm not in New Jersey anymore, but I'll be in Texas, but giving out tactical things. So I promise.
Okay, good. Mitch, what's your thought about when you start getting these? You met a person at an event, and all of a sudden you're on their newsletter or their blog, and you don't even know them.
I think I'm less bothered by that and more bothered by someone I just met and is already sending me a calendar invite.
Oh,
I'm like, all right,
that bothers me.
I can certainly think about doing that. And then as soon as I say, okay, I'll meet you. And I'm like, oh God, what's it going to be? And it's something wacky. I'm like, why did I ever say yes?
Gentlemen, you just got to be meaner.
I know.
Thank you. No, thank you. Here's my assistant. That is nobody. Thank you very much. You have a great day. Let me introduce you to somebody else. There's ways around it, guys. Emidio, I know you're Italian. I know you know a guy to do help with something.
Yeah.
So give him that guy.
So Ashley, you'll send us all notes on how to be meaner. I mean, trust me, I could be
by
mean.
meaner, I mean literally more direct. That's all it is.
Right.
Oh God.
How about you, Mid?
Sorry.
Well, I'm going to think a little differently on this. And again, because we're in sales, we want people's time. You have to reciprocate a little bit and give them your time. Now, you can definitely, I agree with Ashley, like I may be stricter with my time. I'll still have a conversation with someone, but I'm not meeting them for coffee. It might be a phone conversation,
right.
A 5-10 minute. That's enough time to get a gist on what you do and what I do.
Exactly.
But to answer directly on the newsletter thing, it doesn't really bother me very much. And to me, that's similar to LinkedIn. When I meet new people, I connect with them on LinkedIn. Now, my thinking is automatically, if nothing else, hopefully they're going to see some of my content I put out, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And then, you may get a call down the road because they have a need for what you do, or they're looking for whatever. So I think the newsletters are similar to that. And again, you can be strict with your own time and unsubscribe to anything you want. And I wouldn't worry about people's feelings when it comes to that. That's for you to manage your time, but I'm not offended if someone adds me to their newsletter or anything else.
Like,
Okay, I just want permission.
I got two friends right now that it blow me at my inbox because I'm on their newsletter list, but I talk to them every couple of weeks and I unsubscribe from that. They're my best friends. I'm like, I love you. I know
Right.
exactly what's going on. I'll call you tomorrow. Thank you. And like, there's a level of respect that goes back and forth. But yeah, I love that, Emidio and Mitchell.
All right. So
Now, just real quick, so I do use some of those newsletters, the ones that I bother to read, as when I see something that might be interesting to someone, and I talked about value earlier, that's one of the pieces of value I may send to somebody. It might be, so is it time consuming? Yeah. And I don't read through each thing, but something might catch my eye. I said, this might be important to Steve. Let me just, hey, I saw this article, thought of you, or whatever. Maybe.
I don't think you've ever read an article said this might be important to Steve Cooper. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying that's I'm putting my money on that. But it's okay. So the year it's flying by. So we're coming into the second half of the year. Mitch, what are your goals for the second half of the year? Have you put any written down goals for the rest of the year, or what do you want to happen?
Well, I don't know if I write anything down, but certainly by the end of the year, I'd love to greatly increase my account list. So that's the professional side, grow my Instagram account on a personal side, and save money for my daughter's wedding that is in May of next year. So I've got a few little benchmarks, but really, like I said, with EAG, I'm surrounded by great people, and collaboratively speaking, we all want to grow and we want to do it the right way. So I'd say end of the year, the way things look right now with EAG should be completely different by December 31st, all for good reasons.
Okay. How about you, Mid? What's your goals for the next, till the end of the year?
And I'm not going to get into any specifics, but it has a lot to do with the account base we're growing. And then personally, really, and it's been my goal for, I think, 15 years and haven't done it yet, is to get in better shape, so to follow Ashley's lead. So,
Get a trainer, get a scary trainer that you'll let them tell you what to do. I don't let people tell me what to do, but Veronica makes me cry, and I'll be like, okay, thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about trainers? I used to go to a gym in Burbank called Burbank Fitness, and I went. I know it was a crappy gym. It was one of those $8 a month gyms. But they had a trainer. I saw a guy walk in a trainer one time. He was wearing Crocs, and he was eating a Subway sandwich, and he had a cowboy hat on. This is
At
no
an
lie.
$8 a month membership, what'd you think you were going to get?
Well, I know I didn't pay for the trainer, I had to pay, but I'm thinking still though, who would wear Crocs and eat a Subway sandwich? It's like when I went to one time to my cardiologist in LA, a guy walked in with a Taco Bell bag. I'm like, dude, you're going to see the cardiologist. Put that shit away. Anyway, Ashley, what are your goals till the end of the year?
I just got to make it to PimCon. Right now, I just got to make it to PimCon. We're selling tickets. Our sponsorship sold. Our main sponsorship sold within 8 weeks since it's going really well. My goal is to make this event the outperforming and designing all of our competitors. So my job is to make this something that people talk about, they learn from, they gain from, and we have the resources to do it. So I just need to be able to execute. So my goal is to execute, keep my head on straight, make sure I don't, have an ego throughout the whole thing, because they gave me too much power last year and I had to check myself because I never had it before. I'm like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do. So really trying to be a good leader. I'm really trying to work on getting an executive coach so I can kind of manage all those things. So getting my brain, my body, and my soul a little bit more aligned so I can produce, so the team and I can produce, because it's not me, team and I can produce something that is extraordinary. And I have a standard that is very, very high, and we will hit it and go above and beyond. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
So we're all networking. We have a network. We meet people. People come to you. I'm sure people all come to you and ask you for a referral. That's something like people go, hey, do you know someone? Do you know this? Do you know this? And sometimes you give a referral and the person sucks, and then it comes back on you and never on that person. So at this moment, because you've known a lot of people and you've built a reputation that people respect you. And it's very important when you have respect. That's why people come to you to ask for a referral. They don't come to just some schmuck and say, hey, who can you refer? Mid, what does someone have to have? What are characteristics for you to refer someone? Like if you sat there and said, if someone needed a network concierge, and you said, oh, I know Ashley Owens, or you said someone needed someone who can
refer me.
But someone who can podcast coach, which I can do, or, give insight. You would say, I know Cooper, because you know it, right. But what is it that someone needs for you to refer them in any line of work? Because once again, it's your ass on the line and it's your reputation.
So one, and that's, again, I build these relationships. If someone I just met once, I may give, so I'll temper my referral. So if someone said, a financial planner, just to throw one out there, I may say, well, this person, I know them. I'm not their client. Seems like a nice guy. So I'll qualify before I give it. Or no, this is where he's great with this. He's great with that. She's great with this. So I'll kind of give that referral in that way. I'll let them know this is someone I sort of know. It's not someone I know real well. But if it's someone that I'm an advocate for, obviously it comes from knowing their personality, know their, what I think of their character, that they're going to follow through, what they say they're going to do. And usually I have some kind of good feedback from somebody else if I'm not one of their customers. So that's really where I would base that golden referral on.
Okay. How about you, Ashley? Because you have a very, very big network. You have a huge network. And I'm sure people come up to you a lot and ask you, hey, like I get people from my podcast say, can you get me this guest? And I'm like, the guy sort of sucks as an interviewer. I can't really do it, because you don't want it to come back on you. But for you, because people probably come up to you a lot. And I know when you were in Philly, I would see your LinkedIn, you get a lot of shit picking up on your page. Oh, well, Ashley, do you know someone? Or so what is it for Ashley Owens to refer somebody, especially for someone who you're close to, you're referring? What is it? What do they have? What characteristics does that person have to have?
So typically there's a difference between, just to kind of set the standard, the difference between an introduction and a referral. An introduction is somebody that you can make an intro to that you may be on your your B or your C team, which is nothing bad. It's just they haven't built the know, the like, and the trust factor. And you like them. They haven't built the trust. Everybody on the know and the like and the trust factor, they are the referral. Somebody that I've gone to bat for, but they also don't just have a personality, but they have a product that actually works, or they've gotten some really good feedback. I've given amazing referrals. I mean, last week, my virtual assistant's fabulous. Love her to death. She's worked great for me. I said to the woman who was telling me about some of her challenges, I'm like, you might want to chat with her. I said, see if it's a good fit. Let me know if it's not, and we'll keep it moving. Now, I would go to bat for my VA all day long, my virtual assistant, but she can only fit what she fits. And so you set the standard from the very beginning, if I'm making an introduction or if I'm making a referral. So if they're not great for them, I always preface it like, see if it's a good fit. Let me know if it's not, and I'll see if I can find you somebody else. So one, it gives them an opportunity where you're not being like, this is going to be the best thing that's ever happened. I'm not giving assurances here because you can't control that. What you can control is the nice introduction with a little bit of validity behind it because you have experienced their work or their personality, and you match them up. If someone comes at me directly and asks for a referral within the first or second time we've met them, I do not give that referral. I say I don't know them, or I don't know enough to give them a good referral, but let me give you somebody who knows that group of people who you can connect with. So it's more of a networking introduction rather than a transactional one. So my standard is, if you're not, we can curse on this, right? We're allowed to curse here?
I've only dropped the F-bomb twice.
I know, but like it's like a verb to me and I don't hear it. So just give me a minute. So like if you're a piece of shit, I'm not giving you anything, not even my time. If you're a kind person who's going through and trying to figure something out, my brain goes into, ooh, you know what? Your personality matches with this person and they offer something that might work. Let me make this intro. Let me see if this works out. Keep me posted. If not, I'm going to keep noodling on it because their problem is specific to them. So the difference between an introduction and a referral is that referral is based off of your reputation and an introduction is based off of personality.
Okay. How about you, Mitch? Referral. What do you?
I'm just going to say whatever Ashley just said works for me too. I say a couple things. One, I agree with the intro and referral, but really in the end, if I'm going to put my name on a line for somebody or make a referral, I have to have complete 100% trust and faith that that person will not somehow put me down into the gutter. So I have to trust that person will do everything correctly. And then someone will come back to me and say, hey, Mitch, by the way, thanks for connecting me with Ashley. It was a great intro, great connection, and I really appreciate it. In the end, that's what I want. Not someone to say, Mitch, do not give me another name, because if you do, I will kill you.
All right. Well, there you go. So let's talk networking. 'Cause that's what
Again.
we all do. We're all networkers. Yeah, Ashley's going, Jesus Christ, Cooper, I'm the networking concierge. I don't want to talk about that.
No, I love it. I love it. It's just fun.
Okay, there you go. Well, you just answered. You asked my first question. What do you love about networking, Ashley?
I love that I have the privilege to do it. What a privilege it is to be able to communicate with another human being, figuring out what their likes and dislikes are, their passions, their drive, what gives them their livelihood. What a privilege it is to know another human being. And then if you have a resource or an idea or a thought or a connection in some way that can help them and carry their livelihood to another level, whatever that is, on the cellular level. Wow, good morning, coffee has kicked in. It gives me so much joy that I was a very small part of that. I don't want recognition for that. I want nothing except to say, like, hey, if I can help you save 6 months, because I actually have a process that works, it takes me 2 seconds to send it over. If I have an introduction to somebody who's going to make you feel exactly how I see you and help you with this problem, then I am going to be the happiest because I had a little bit of part of that. So networking to me is not just giving somebody a transactional opportunity. It's providing a resource or a knowledge base that's going to help them and help them build their livelihood. And that to me is a more powerful human behavior aspect rather than the transactional one.
Okay, I'm going to give you a second part of this. Do you think there's anything you need to improve with your networking?
Oh, always. I love learning about human behavior. So like I said, neurolinguistic programming, I took that. So I try to continue to practice it. Human body language is next this year. So I'm diving into micro expressions. I'm diving into body language at conferences. I've already done it. Now I'm going to truly understand it and see if I can manipulate it. Not in a weird way, but more in I'd be able to control the conversation, especially in sales, to really get to the discovery point of that, to understand how we can fix their problem. And that outlasts all of our clients. So I can continue to help them and support them and really make a better relationship. So it's my job to recognize that person and how they communicate, not theirs. So that's also a control thing. Now I can manage my time more effectively because I can read the person, but then also give the better introductions and better services.
Okay. How about you, Mitch? What do you love about networking?
I love making personal connections with people. I like it when you can say, hey, I might not need you tomorrow, but one day we're going to have to do some work together. And then a month or 2 months or 6 months later, I'll send an email, make a phone call and say, hey, remember when we discussed so-and-so? I've got something going on where I can use your help. So to me, it's building relationships that might not fill a need today or tomorrow, but maybe 6 months or a year down the line. Other than that, to me, it's making good business connections, friends. You met Steve and you've opened up my whole world of networking. So I'm grateful that I was at Canals on the day you were there and I said, hey, you're Cooper, right? And to me, that is 2 years or 2.5 years, 3 years later, my life has completely changed just from meeting the right people and networking.
Okay. Now, how can you improve on networking?
I think as a salesperson, I'm very, very introverted. So I consistently have to go into networking and say, okay, step out of your comfort zone and go talk to someone, tell them what you do, ask them about them. So to me, it's just constantly stepping out of that comfort zone and continually to push myself to meet the new people and to get conversations with people. And just to keep building on that.
Okay. How about you, Mid? What do you love about networking?
Well, I genuinely love meeting people, talking to people. I like people. I like learning as much as possible about other people. So the networking piece of it, I think, just comes naturally to me. So, some people always say, "Oh, you're out and about all the time," and I like that part of business for us. So that comes easy for me. just like I said, I genuinely, sometimes I'm too interested in other people and I never really get across my message because I'll talk to them. I'll know everything about them, where they grew up and everything. I enjoy that. And then, I'm like, wow, I don't think they even know what I do. I never got to that. So anyway, but that's what I like about networking.
Now, what do you need to improve? Is there something you need to improve?
I mean, the piece I just said, and like everybody, I'm pretty good about trying to meet new people each time I go somewhere, at least one or two new people. But at times it's easy to fall into the rut of, catching up with some of the people you already know. And, so I think for all of us who see each other often, you got to make it a point to, and me especially, all right, who are at least like a couple new people I've never met before. So that's it.
That's that, by the way, that's challenging when you go to cocktails with Cooper. I walk in, I'm like, man, I know an awful lot of people. So it does take a little extra strength to say to someone, hey, listen, I got to go meet some other people, because that's what you're there for. But it's easy to just kind of hang out with your friends.
See, that's a reality show we got to do. We got to do a reality show where it's a bunch of networkers to find out who the best networker is, and you drop them in a room with a bunch of meth heads. And if they can get out without hearing everyone's life story and they walk away unfrazzled, I'm telling you, people would watch that. It's like you be the king, like you got through that room in 2 minutes. When the kid's telling you about like when his dog ran away when he was 7 and shit like that. I'm telling you, we should do a business reality show called The World's Best Networker. Now, one of the things will be in a room full of, now we got to find meth heads and we'll go on TV and say they're meth heads, but we'll just go to that show, that addiction show they used to have. So we can do that.
So Steve,
so wait, you win by getting
out of the room quick enough with business cards, getting out of the room as quick as you can with business cards.
The best networkers, guys, you don't even know them because they're at a different level. They are the Olivia Popes of the world. They are the, who's the other guy who's the fixer on that
Ray
show?
Donovan?
Yeah, they're the Ray Donovans of the world. You don't know them. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know them, right? I'm great. I don't know them. And that's when you hear somebody say that I'm the best connector, I'm the best networker. Notice, I don't ever say that. I'm not, because I have a lot to learn. I've got 30 more years to be the best, whatever, because I have to put the reps in. If someone tells you I'm a connector, I'm the best connector, no, they're not. They're just showboating the fact that they know a lot of people. But the way that I frame it is, I can help you understand how to network based off of your emotional intelligence. Am I the best at it? I can't be. I don't have every single personality trait. What I can do is show you the tools to do it. So I'll never self-proclaim that I'm the best networker ever.
Well, in 30 years, I will be the best networker in the assisted living community. I promise you that. Okay,
there we go.
I promise you that. You're going to go, holy crap. He's right. He's the best in the assisted living community. So, okay, I'm going to end the show on this a little bit because I always ask a question about advice you would give to people coming out and starting your own. But what's an advice, because you all really know how to network, and we'll stay with you, Ashley. What's advice you would give to a new networker? Like, I went to an event the other night. Chris Giddings had an event at this Beata Mansion, and there was this high school girl there. I was like, holy shit, that's so cool. And then this young kid, he must be really young. He was like an intern, and they were out networking. And, you don't want to give him advice, but I was like, this is so cool. Like, they're out. Like, that's hard to walk into a room of adults. It's just crazy. So to a new networker, what advice would you give a new networker to really learn how to network?
They got to know themselves first. If they understand themselves, they'll be able to communicate effectively with somebody else. The biggest challenge with networking and what people like ourselves, because we didn't really get taught that when we were in high school or college, is that we emulated other people we saw to be able to network effectively. But we really didn't understand ourselves to be able to communicate and have that mesh into one good conversation. So I give every one of my students, because we do a whole 3 or 4 weeks just on networking, all of my students a DISC assessment and have them understand themselves and how they make decisions. And then that way they can pair up their networking style and activities off of their personality types. Otherwise, they're going to be going in there, spinning their wheels and getting burnt out. So keeping those standards high.
Okay. How about you, Mitch? For a new networker, what would you tell someone?
I would say go into a networking room, and if you know someone in that room, don't talk to them. Go find a stranger and just continually to step out of your own comfort zone, but do it in a very transparent but real way. Like, hey, here's who I am. This is what I do, but I'd love to learn about what you do and be honest. Hey, I'm new to networking. I used to say this all the time. I'm really new to networking. Never had a network in my past careers. So, learn, speak to people, listen to other conversations, not eavesdrop, but listen to them and see that flow and really learn in networking that it's not about selling what I do, but it's really about asking questions and really taking a strong interest in people.
Okay. How about you, Mid?
So if someone goes into a room, they don't know anybody, they're brand new, they're young, stand next to the coffee or the refreshments or the food, because everybody stops there. You're not interrupting someone's conversation, and that would be my first. And then after that, take a few minutes the next day and follow up with the people that you met, even if it's just hey, it was nice meeting you. Connect with them on LinkedIn, whatever. So they'd be the two tidbits I'd give.
When I first moved back, the first event I went to, I stood next to the food. And I wore a black blazer, and they thought I was the waiter. So thank you, folks. I'll be here all week. So final question of the day. You guys have been great. It's always good to catch up with people that I respect and I really actually I like, because there's a lot of people I don't like, but I like you guys. And I know you're going to get good answers. So I know Mitch and Mid, your parents, and Ashley, your teaching students. So you both have people who are going out into life. They're going to start living their life very soon. So Mitchell, if you're someone, and it doesn't have to be your kids, you could be someone who's changing a career, because we all change careers. Someone comes to you and looks at you into the mentor role. What advice do you give them, Mitch, about business or life or what they should be doing?
Well, I'll use my kids as an example. And when they do good things in business and they get accolades, I'm always proud of them. And both kids will say, well, I learned it from you, Dad, your work ethic. So to me, that means a lot. But I'm going to tell everyone, just be authentic, be who you really are, and if you have to constantly tweak that, then maybe you got to tweak that. But I think just being genuine, showing someone that you care, as a salesperson, you don't, like Mid said, hey, I care about you. I care about the money. I'm a sales guy. I'm supposed to, but really I care about you as a person. I want to know, get to know people, get to know their birthdays, get to know if they have kids, get to know if they're favorite teams, if they like good beer, if they like bad beer. But taking an interest in people, I think is a great way to build relationships when it's really authentic, transparent, and real.
Okay. How about you, Ashley? What advice do you give?
A lot of my kids are really nervous about just existing in the world. I'm going to tell you, kids as my students, they think that they're going to get canceled for being authentic. So one of the biggest advices that I have for them, because they don't know what to say on LinkedIn, they don't know how to communicate to another adult that they see as an authority in some way, because their authentic self is not in the professional corporate world that you would think. So my biggest piece of advice to them is everybody's winging it. Every single person that you meet is winging it. They're all figuring it out. We make up the rules. So if you go in there thinking that you have to abide by a certain set of rules that is going to make you so uncomfortable that you don't even want to be in it, you're going to get discouraged and never try it again. Every adult is figuring it out, and they don't have it all figured out. So removing that barrier of I have to be a certain way in these rooms allows them to relax a bit, and then they're always going to, put their best foot forward.
Okay. How about you, Mid?
So I think learning as much as you can. If you're talking about a young person just getting out there, your 20s and maybe even your 30s are about learning as much as you can. I think one internally, like I would say to people, oh, I like this, I like that. What is it about that you like? So you learn more about what you like, what naturally appeals to you. And then on the other end, the people you're working for, the people you're working with, learn the good and the bad. So when you're in that position, you understand this is what I didn't like about this leadership or management. This is what I learned from them, and just constantly be learning, because you'll have plenty of time to earn as much as you can later. The more you learn in your 20s and 30s, the more you earn in your 40s and 50s.
All right. This has been great. Mitch, how can people get in touch with you?
Me,
Yes, Mitch.
Okay, sorry. Well,
I was waiting for that to happen.
well, Mid and
Mitch.
Mitch, they sound too much alike, unfortunately. I got two of my hearing aids better. So find me on Instagram, Short Man Loves Beer, but in real life, Mitchell at EAG Advertising.com. So Mitchell at EAG Advertising.com. And yeah, Short Man Loves Beer on Instagram.
How about you, Ashley? How can I get in touch with you?
Ashley at ashleyassist.com. LinkedIn, I'm very active on, so slip me a DM. Would love to learn more about your networking style. And honestly, email, I live in that. So love to meet everybody.
How about you, Mid?
For me, the easiest for everybody out there, rather than trying to memorize my email, is just LinkedIn. I'm sure I'm the only Emidio Mariani on LinkedIn. Yeah, that's the easiest for everybody.
Okay. People, you can reach me at the Coop Tank at yahoo.com. Also, don't forget coopscomedycorner.com. Some great swag up there. You know, I'm going to be wearing it as soon as Jimmy Corner's going to be sending me some Coop Tank shirts. And you can also check out my coopertalk.net. I have over 1,045 episodes on my podcast. I recently interviewed Stan Lynch, Tom Petty's original drummer. Great guy whose new band has a new album coming out. Also, look up the Coop Tank and Coop's Comedy Corner on YouTube and rate them and love them and be great. And July 2nd, well, before that, Saturday, June 28th, I'll be headlining Pizzeria Uno in Newtown Square. I'll be doing a nice 45-minute set. July 9th, I'll be at the Soundplex with Comedy Corks and Conversations with Chris Kosha. And July 2nd, I will be hosting Cocktails with Cooper at Splits Bar and Grill. And one of my sponsors is the one and only Joe Gangemi with Contap. Hey, Joe, you're going to bring some Contap swag? What's going on?
Oh, Coop, you know it, man. I'm going to have all kinds of Contap gear. I'm going to be showing people how it works, and might even be, giving a few of these things away too. So be sure to come out to Cocktails with Coop at Splits. It's going to be a great time.
Okay, and how can they find out more about Soundplex? I mean, it's Soundplex. Jesus,
Come
sweet
on,
recording. I have to go to the doctor next week. I'm going crazy. Sweet recording.
Yes, sir. So yeah, Sweet Recording, like I said earlier, is the premier content and podcast studio in South Jersey. We can help you with everything from square one all the way through to promotion and publication and all that. And of course, in between all that, there's the recording and the production parts. We take care of all of it for you. We make it easy. We make it fun. So we would love to work with you on turning your brand into a great and very efficient marketing and business development vehicle. So learn more at sweetrecording.com, SUITE recording.com. Thank you, Coop.
And also, don't forget to watch the Howard Eskin show that
Yeah.
Joe produces on YouTube. He found Joe. So if he can find Joe and I can find Joe, you can find Joe. Anyway, people, connect with all my guests today. You have a wonderful weekend, and we will talk to you next week. We won't be here on the 4th of July, but we'll be here next week. So you all have a great weekend. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.